Conversations, you give advice by contributing on the subject matter without judging. Adult Conversations in Your Women Radio runs every Monday through Thursday because we are here to break the culture of silence. So if you have a story and you'd like us to weigh in on it to bring it to the family of Adult Conversations, please send your story along with your name and contact number. Send your story along with your name and contact number to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. Tonight on Adult Conversations, my wife is secretive. My wife is secretive. My name is Calvin, 45 and a business owner. My wife is 38, also self employed. We've been married for 15 years now. I sponsored my wife to university and got her a car when we got married. My wife's business started going well lately, and she bought herself another car. Now, my issue is that she's now doing things without consulting me, hangs out with friends, and even passworded her phone saying she wants privacy. Is it proper to keep your password to yourself as a married woman? Please advise. Now, this is Kelvin speaking tonight. Kelvin is 45 years old. He owns his own business. His wife is 38, also self employed. They've been married for 15 years. He sponsored his wife to university and then got her a car when they got married. Now, Kelvin says his wife's business started doing very well of late and she bought herself another car. Now, he says his issue here is that she now does things without consulting him. She hangs out with friends and even went as far as passwording her phone, saying that she wants privacy. Is it proper to keep your password to yourself as a married woman? That's what he's asking. He's asking, is it proper to keep your password to yourself as a married woman? Please advise. The number to call to advise Calvin tonight is 07000 917. You can send a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. Again, the number to call 07000 917. You can send a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. And anywhere you are in the world, you can also listen. You can listen via the stream link www.wfm917.com. I'll take that again, www.wfm917.com. Now, when you call in, ensure that you turn down the volume of your radio. It's very important when you do that. Ensure that you turn down the volume of your radio so that we can avoid interference and we can hear you clearly. Thank you very much. Also, when you call in, please make sure not to stay too long on the phone lines. Just go straight to the point. Please give your advice. Keep it short, keep it simple, keep it constructive as you give your advice. Thank you very much. As always, we give priority to the members of the Adult Conversations family group chat. And if you're on there, congratulations, and I will read your message for sure. If you're not, you can always join the conversation. You can join the group by sending your name and contact number via WhatsApp now. Sending your name and contact number via WhatsApp to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. And of course, I'll read your message live on the air. Now, to our first message on the WhatsApp group. This one is coming from Kolawole from Ilukweju. Kolawole says, "Good evening, all. Calvin, your wife has grown wings. My advice to you is to try and talk to her and keep on managing the situation and wait to train your children. If at a distant time she refuses to change, you can decide to leave her." And that's from Kolawole from Ilukweju. Grandma Adebayo is saying tonight, "Good evening to all the Adult Conversations family in the house. My advice to you, Calvin, is to take it easy with her. You did not state if both of you have been blessed with children. Then if yes, I'll advise you to wake up to wake her up in the night, in the middle of the night, to talk to her, let her know how far you both started and how far you've gone. It's possible that it's the friends she's been hanging out with that are teaching her. And maybe now she's hanging out with big babes for her to be passwording her phone. For her to be passwording her phone, I would love to ask you yourself if you don't password your phone. If you don't, then she has no right to do that. If you're blessed with children, talk to her and let her parents know. Then, if she doesn't change, watch out and study her very well before you take any step. And that's coming in from Grandma Adebayo. Thank you very much for that message. All right, the next message coming in tonight, it's coming from Talkby from Ikorodu. Talkby from Ikorodu said, hmm, good evening to all our mummies, daddies, brothers, and sisters. Hope we're preparing very well for the Christmas and New Year. Now to Kelvin, may I ask if your marriage is consummated with children? From the story before us, it is obvious that your wife is keeping bad company, and these people are influencing her with strange attitude and behavior. And if you ask me, I will advise that both of you should sit down and have a heart to heart conversation about these unhealthy developments that are capable of destroying a union that has spanned over 15 years if care is not done ASAP. If you have a Christian home, it is biblically wrong for your wife to do things without consulting you. Any wife or husband that operates a passworded phone definitely has something to hide, and this is not proper. In order to allow peace to reign in the house and considering the future of your children, let her satisfy herself. But do not hesitate to report her to her parents in case something funny happens in the future. Moses from Ikorodu says, see a marriage counselor if she's willing to. John, physiotherapist from Agege says, good evening, everyone. Please discuss with her. If she doesn't listen, invite her parents and invite your pastor. God will help you. Tanta Segwe from Ifo is saying, my advice to Mr. Calvin is to let sleeping dogs lie. In order not to allow the devil to take charge of your home, as long as you don't find her receiving secret calls. If she says she needs privacy, please allow her. Keep your secret to yourself too. Her phone is supposed to be her personal property. That's not an issue to tackle. Just talk to her in a way that she would understand. Ask her why she needs privacy. She will open up. And it may not be that she's unfaithful. May God uphold your family. And that's from Tantus Segwe from Ifo. Please keep the messages coming in. The phone line to call now is 07000 917 917. You can also send in a text or WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. Comrade is sending this text saying, it is not good. She's supposed to be free minded with you. Have you discussed with her? If the man told us they're just in a relationship, I would have told him to quit. A secretive person can kill. All right, thank you very much. Now, some things to note from this story is that they've been married for 15 years. They've been married for 15 years. They did not say if they have children, but both of them are business owners. Both of them are self-employed. Now, he said he sponsored his wife to university and got her a car when they got married. He didn't say how well his business is doing now, but he did say that his wife's business is going well lately, and she bought herself another car. He also didn't say if his wife's business has been going well before, but she just felt the need to buy a car now because it's going better now. Now he's saying his main issue here is that she's now doing things without talking to him about it. She's hanging out with friends, and she even passworded her phone, saying that she wants privacy. So he's asking, is it proper to keep your phone, your password to yourself as a married woman? Very quickly, please, when you call in, ensure you turn down the volume of your radio. And of course, keep your advice short, simple, and constructive. Hello, good evening.
Yeah,
Comrade, good evening. How are you tonight?
may God help you today. Make the no question or answer the question to make it. I don't know.
Thank you very much.
I want to greet all our students. I was happy. Our student men, they made my day. Just like that our leader, hey, don't make me well. If you can learn. What I want to say concerning this today's matter.
Yes.
I told my wife, any one day that I will not follow you go. I will not help you to buy Ikele. Do you know at times if I go to office, I go forget my phone. My wife go carry am. At times I go carry my wife's phone. We are the same flesh and the same blood. Why are we having the same number? Why are we having good number? If anything happen, uncle, your husband about to care for you when you never rise up. Now you don't rise up now. Don't on the follow click, on the follow big gas, on the follow city gas, on the high number being secretive for your husband. May God bless the first tester. If I discuss with my wife in the night, I ask her what I do you. Just where. If you don't answer me well, forget about pastor. I report as my parents. If they don't do well, the next time I go divorce her. I'm talking my own opinion. I'm talking my own opinion as one man like sport. If I discuss with them, they don't talk well. If I carry and go after it, if they don't talk well, the next I go carry and go Ikoyi. Is it going to do that way? Is it people already, sir? I go carry and go Ikoyi. They go dissolve the marriage. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, comrade. All right. So again, I must say that we're not proponents of divorce. We don't believe that we don't believe that we should break up marriages if there's no specific need to. We're not advocates for breaking up marriages. We believe that marriages are an important institution and they should be preserved. But at the same time, it's also important that we need to consider so many things, particularly the mental health and family, and just so many factors that go into whether or not a couple should divorce. So please, when you're broaching the subject of divorce, please try to be very, very careful. Once again, this is Adult Conversations on Your Women Radio, WFM 91.7.
Because I'm shining, lush, yeah, lush, yeah.
People know how to make an impression, and that's why they only trust Lush Hair Extensions to bring out the shine in them. Lush Hair, be beautiful.
Mr. Johnson, I'm here for my money.
Baba landlord, I'm very sorry. My wife is very sick and I have spent all the money I have.
I've been telling you to ensure the health of you and your family with a reliable HMO.
Reliable HMO? Which of them can I go for?
Ives Medicare HMO Limited. They are one of the accredited health maintenance organizations with thousands of quality and accredited healthcare providers nationwide on their network. They have corporate plan, retail plan, student plan, and even community-based health plan. More so, their premium is pocket friendly.
Please, where are they located?
Their office is located at number 2 Osho Street, Okpebi Link Bridge, off Okpebi Road, Ikeja, Lagos. Their phone number is 080 93 555 863 or 080 32 63 9058. Their website is www.ivesmedicare.com. Ives Medicare, health protection in your colors.
They keep wondering, say I'm unstoppable. How I'm unstoppable. Some try to slow me down, but I'm undraggable. Yes, I'm undraggable. Every expectation, I don't meet. That's the heat. It's a heat. My success, they retreat. I'm with me. I'm on the way. Just keep bouncing. Stretch your neck, the Wi-Fi network. Just keep something. Stretch your neck, the Wi-Fi network. Just keep bouncing. Stretch your neck, the Wi-Fi network. Just keep something. Stretch your neck, the Wi-Fi network.
Check out what's been limited browsing. This one in my door. This one in my door. What the food that I'm trying to be on the network. We are the
Wi-Fi network.
Get and stay connected to the Wi-Fi network for unlimited internet experience that keeps you one step ahead in all your browsing needs. Technet, the Wi-Fi network.
This is still Adult Conversations in Your Women Radio, WFM 91.7, 26 minutes to the hour of 10. And of course, this is Adult Conversations where we share real life issues and discuss matters relating to the heart. Tonight, we're discussing Calvin's story. Calvin is 45, a business owner. He's married for 15 years to his wife of 38, who is also self-employed. He sponsored his wife to university and got her a car when they got married. His wife's business started going very well recently, and she bought herself another car. Now, he's saying his issue with her right now is that she's now doing things without consulting him. She's hanging out with friends, and she even passworded her phone, saying that she wants privacy. So he asks, is it proper to keep your password to yourself as a married woman? Please advise. The number to call in is 07000 917 917. You can send in a text or WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, and thank you for calling. What's your name?
Yeah, this is Matthew from Surulere.
Your name again, please.
Matthew from Surulere.
Hey, Matthew, it's been a long time we heard from you. How are you doing?
Yeah, the end of the year rush.
I can
I've been
imagine.
very easy lately.
But you're doing good, right?
Yeah, very good, very good. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Glad to hear that. All right. So quickly, what's your advice to Kelvin tonight?
First, I want to say that we do have this belief that if one password is your phone, it means that there is something fishy. No. I do tell my wife the same thing, that, see, password is for security, not for, people feeling insecure about it. And this password issue, I remember very well. I was telling my wife, password your phone. She did not do it. There was a day she lost her phone. Someone used USSD or code, what they call it. We do every money in our accounts. Sometimes we do something. I'm just saying in the aspect of security of your phone. I have password to my phone, but I pick up my phone. In fact, sometimes I quickly pick that phone before it cuts. Maybe I'm perhaps in the base or something. Please pick up that phone before it cuts. It is not for her. The security there is not for her. It's for outsiders, not to just have way of using my phone to dial a number or use my phone for any transaction I don't know of.
Quick question, Matthew. Does she have your password? Does she know your password?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She knows my password.
Okay.
She knows my password. Password is not for the insider, it's for the outsider.
Okay.
So it's nothing fishy about password. Password is good on your phone because people sometimes use your phone to transact without you knowing.
Okay. So what was the second point?
So the second thing is, let's man in question check if at any time they had quarrel about him making a decision that didn't favor the wife, or didn't tell the wife, and the wife wants to retaliate back. He should also check himself. Maybe there was a decision he had ever made without the woman, because sometimes you know how deep a woman's heart is when it comes to retaliating. So he should check that also, and try to see, because sometimes she may not have joined any clique or something. Maybe she's just feeling like, why did you take that decision without me? Okay, if this is it, okay, I will do mine, or I will do my own thing separately. So it's possible. Let him also check himself to see where he has gone wrong, and try to see what is actually setting the lady up, so as to communicate and resolve the issue amicably. It's something within them. They shouldn't allow it go further than this. They should try to talk to one another to say, this is what I think. Oh, okay, please, let's talk about it. What is hitting you up? Because sometimes
thank you very much, Kelvin.
You've made what?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Matthew.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks.
Okay. So Matthew is basically saying the password is not for him that's in the house. It's not for people in the house. He said his phone is passworded and his wife knows his password, and that applies to her as well. So it's for people outside, people who should not be allowed to transact business with your phone. So it's for them. It's for security purposes, basically. And that's what he's saying. Kelvin did not tell us whether or not his wife gave him the password, whether he has his wife's password. But I believe that if he did have the password, He would not be saying, oh, she passworded her phone because she said she wants privacy. So I don't think that would even come up at all if he has access to the phone. So Matthew, pardon me. Matthew also said that she needs to ask himself. That's what he said. Yes. He needs to ask himself if there's any decision that he has taken outside of her input, outside of whatever she has said he should do, or if there's any decision he has taken without consulting her. Let me phrase it that way. If there's any specific decision he has taken without consulting her over the years, and she's now doing this to retaliate regarding that or over that. So he's saying, try and sit her down and talk to her, and you would probably be able to resolve this. Now, I do want to point out something. Kelvin made a point of duty to let us know that he sponsored his wife to university and bought her a car when he got married. All these, he's not telling us just because he wants to tell us. He's telling us for us to know that he has been the main provider in that family for a long time. And he's telling us because he wants to set that foundation and let us know specifically that he's been the one that trained this woman and got her to the point that she is now, basically. And now that her business is doing well, he doesn't like the fact that she's acting this way. Now, if we trace things back to 15 years ago, Kelvin's wife is 38 now. So that means she was 23 when they got married. A lot of young ladies at 23 are not exposed. A lot of them, and if they are exposed, it's probably maybe just academic and all of that. And nowadays, there's been a change because a lot of young ladies are actually more exposed than they were before at that age, at 23. But 15 years ago, ladies at 23 were not exposed. Now, what this means is 15 years ago, Kelvin's wife at 23 did not have exposure. She didn't know what it was that, people do when they have money because, she didn't really have money. I mean, her husband was once sponsoring her through university and got her a car when they got married. I'm just trying to let us understand that from looking at it from her perspective, you would see that she has been in a marriage where, and right after they probably started having children, right after they got married and all of that. So she probably didn't have the time to really explore, make friends, break curfew, stay out late if she chooses to. I'm not saying that's what she's doing, don't get me wrong. Make her own friends, flex and live life in quotes, because that's what young people say. She probably didn't have the opportunity to do these things. And some would say that, oh, she's married now, so she should just forget about it. She's married now, yes, but she's still 38. She's still very young. And it will shock you that she's probably in the best shape of her life right now. And now she has the money to back up her desires. So now she might just want to go out and have a good time, spend her money. And it even helps that the money is hers now. So she can just do and undo and do whatever she wants. I'm just saying that this might, I'm just giving us this particular perspective so that we can understand what could possibly be going on. 15 years of marriage. We don't know if they have children, or I believe they do, but he didn't say here that they have children. He's saying she's doing things without consulting him. She's hanging out with friends, even passworded her phone saying she wants privacy. Now, remember, this happens a lot in a lot of marriages. 15 years ago, 15 years of marriage. Is this a happy marriage? Or is this a long marriage? Is this a marriage that has spanned 15 years because it's a happy marriage, and a marriage that the man is not controlling, the man is not dominating, he's giving her free reign to do what she chooses to, he's giving her the opportunity to, educate herself, do better things, just have a good life and still be free to pursue her own interest? Does that apply or does that not apply? Now, on the flip side, Kelvin may be the best husband ever. He might give her privacy to do what she chooses to do. He might not be the kind of person that is all up in her business. And he may just be a loving husband. And she may just have gotten to the point where she just needs to, have a little bit of freedom to herself. Now, this may be the case. This may not be the case. And that's why the conversation is open. That's why the conversation is open. So as we talk about it, whatever your ideas are, whatever your thoughts are, more specifically what your advice is to Kelvin, please let us know. As regards the passwording, I would like to hear our opinions on that as well. Hello, good evening.
Good evening. So, this is Mr. Mike from Shangoto.
Mr. Mike, thank you very much for calling. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm fine. And you?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
Okay. I want to start with the issue of Mr. Kevin. I think, to be honest, on his side, he will feel he did the best husband. He has made the provision and everything. But let's be objective. Let's be objective as a man. The lady, looking at the time, the age, 23, I think he's making those things, if he's objective, I don't know, but I'm just trying to be real. He has treated the woman in a naive status of mind to win her, to make her loyal, to protect his own interest in the lady, to make sure that he doesn't look elsewhere. And so the lady, where the relationship was, sorry to use the language, one-sided, because everything was to keep and sustain the woman to suit his desire, to meet up his maybe his desire in the woman, getting the right person he feel he wants, and
to his standard,
give her everything the standard, to give everything so that the lady will remain loyal and remain committed to her and the relationship. And now that the lady is matured, so to say, is getting exposed, the reality of life is not dawning on her. So what Mr. Kevin should do now, things, come out. Where it was selfish, let her know and apologize, and now give her, empower her and let her see sincerity and genuine purpose that will benefit the woman and not him alone. You see, yes, when in relationship, I tell people feel at times, like my own marriage, at times people feel I give my wife so much liberty, as if at times I adore her or whatever. I said, look, life, we are all human beings and we have equal privileges, and life is just life is a privilege, not a right. If you are positioned today, does not make you better than the other person. It's either you see the opportunity on time, you know how to make use of it, or you are favored to get it first than another person. My wife has the right, and she knows her boundaries as a woman, but that she has her liberty, she knows what to do. She earns her money, but as I speak to you, that's why that she earns her money and everything. She knows that, and I don't ask how much you earn, what is this. She uses the account I used to use as my savings. That's what she's using as a salary account. But I don't know how much is there. That she's sorry judicious. Even my money she controls. But because I have bled the relationship in a way that she knows that I'm genuinely interested in her, and we are going on for my patient, for the family and for the relationship.
Okay.
So he has to get to the level where the lady understands now. She have understood. So the man should come and rebuild and create confidence and the interest of the lady in the relationship. Then on the issue of passwording of her phone, does the woman has access to his own phone?
Good point. All right, Mr. Mike.
My password is that of my wife. So she have access to my phone, to my account, to my everything, and she knows that there's nothing secret I'm hiding. So she doesn't have anything from me. So the buck is on the man to do what is right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So some very valid points made there. Mr. Mike talked about the fact that Kelvin must have married his wife at that young age of 23. And when I say young age, please let's not take this as I'm trying to say that he took advantage of her or anything like that, because that's not what I'm trying to say. 23 is not a young age to be married. It is young, but at the same time, a lot of people get married at 23. A lot of our parents got married earlier than that for completely different reasons and in completely different times, may I add. But 23 is not such a young age to get married. So, talking about that, he's saying that at the age of 23, as I said earlier, she probably was not exposed. He got her into school, sponsored her, got her a car after marriage, just basically put her in a position where she could be primed and groomed and just, put together to be like the perfect wife for him. In terms of loyalty, in terms of interest, just getting him to protect his interests, to be right for him as the man. Now, he's saying that 15 years down the line, she has realized herself as a woman. She has come into her own, and she is no longer just following blindly and following just whatever it is that he says she should do, and just staying in that space that he possibly put her in at that age. This is not to say that that space he put her in was bad or that she was going through any difficulty, which I must add, we do not know. We don't know the state of their marriage. That's why I asked, is this 15-year marriage a long marriage or a happy marriage? Because a lot of times people always tell us, oh, we don't know what is wrong with people of this generation. Our parents were married for 25 years, for 32 years, for 40-something years. But when you ask your parents, your 40-something years old marriage, was it a happy marriage? Were the whole 40-something years happy? A lot of them will tell you no. They just endured because they had to. Doesn't mean that they were in happy marriages. Now, I have to balance everything I say so that we do not get things mixed up. This is not to say that Kelvin's wife was in an unhappy marriage. But it gets to a point that when you know better, you start taking less of the things you used to take before, because now you know better. Now, some of us will say that thing is exposure. Yes, exposure can both be positive and negative. And then we have to always note the fact that the person you got married to at the day you got married cannot be the same person that you'll be married to 5 years down the line. People evolve, people change, people evolve, they grow, their interest grows. So Mr. Mike is saying, make sure that you talk to her, give her freedom that she needs to do whatever it is that she needs to do. The fact that her phone is passworded does not mean that she's cheating on you or does not mean anything wrong. It probably just means, just like what she said, that she wants privacy. Now, again, is your own phone passworded? If Calvin's phone is passworded and he wants access to his wife's phone, then that just tells us that there's an imbalance somewhere. There's an imbalance somewhere which needs to be addressed. So if his phone is passworded and his wife doesn't have access to his phone, one would ask, why does he want access to her phone if she doesn't have access to his phone? So we need to note some of these things. All right, messages coming in. Let me quickly read some of them. This one is, Comrade is saying, okay, in this aspect of this case, and call, the man said she now has password on her phone. There's something fishy about it. Yes, maybe when the woman never has money, she's now nursing the past. They have to discuss. Matthew was jumping the question, Sumto. Does Matthew's wife know his password? Yes, he said she knows it. Kevin is making me feel sober. Why is she acting like this? Sumto, you're right. They want to be exposed and belong now. Kevin's wife may be remembering when Kevin was taking care of her when the lady was in school. She is now in money. She has remembered the past. My mom married at 18, 1977, and the marriage was made in heaven and earth. Sumto Jones. Okay, all right. Thank you very much, comrade. This one is a quick message from Ezekiel from Surulere, who says, my advice is for him to have a decent conversation with her. I don't see any intimacy between them. This is not just sexual. Some things are deteriorating gradually in that marriage. He needs to find out where and what went wrong. YO from Ikeja says, good evening. Men and women should not be afraid of their spouse's need for a level of privacy. That said, a sudden change from what she used to be and her lifestyle that is not consistent with what she used to be can be a red flag or a source of concern. But prior to this, did the man overlook some concerns that were important to his wife? Is the wife saying she needs him to be more available, to talk more, be more romantic, come home, or several others which push the man out to look for companionship, friends outside the home? If that happened, the man would have pushed the lady into the wrong company. First, he should be sure he's not the one that pushed his wife out, and it would take lots of effort to get her back, as she now enjoys the company of her friends outside. If he had satisfied his wife and made the home a warm place, the possibility of his wife joining the wrong crowd is there. This may be the beginning of the end of their marriage. Okay, please keep your messages coming in. Thank you very much. All right, still talking about Calvin's story. There are always so many layers to these, and sometimes it doesn't really help when we ask questions and we do not get answers. I don't know what tribe Calvin is from, and I do not want this to sound any negative type of way, but there's some men that are how do I phrase this now? They have a way of doing things. They have a way of doing things, and by that I mean they try to directly or indirectly put you in a particular space. You know, they're known for marrying younger ladies, a lot younger ladies. They're also known for, being very good providers, but a lot of that providing is in a bid to keep you loyal to them, to keep you supportive and keep you present in their lives. Now, this does not mean that if they provide for you, loyalty and support is expected from any union. So it's not connoted to be a negative thing. But at the same time, sometimes it could end up as that. We don't know what the history of this 15-year-old marriage has been. We do not know. We can't tell if it was a marriage that started out well and ended well, or started out well and is going well, pardon me. We can't tell. And it's just for us to read the story and to give advice. We don't really know all the details. And from the story given, we can't tell if their marriage has been blissful. And by blissful, I mean if their marriage has been balanced. I emphasize the word balance because in any union where either the man or the woman is feeling sidelined, feeling ignored, feeling unappreciated, undervalued, it would take so long. It would take a while. But after that while, they would break out of their space and just do whatever it is that they want because they feel like you don't care about them. You don't value their opinion. You don't involve yourself in their life in a way that favors them. And you don't want to hear from them. They're there, but they're not there. And nobody wants to feel undervalued. Nobody wants to feel unappreciated. Nobody wants to feel like they're there, but they're not there. So there's a lot that can be learned from this story tonight. But the most important thing here is that Calvin is saying his wife's phone is passworded. He's concerned about the fact that she seems to be hanging out with new friends. And now she's doing things without consulting him. Now, if we pick each and every one of these things and we ask Calvin if before, has he been doing things without consulting her? And then, this whole things without consulting her is relative. Now, somebody can ask a question and say, oh, I want your advice on something. And the first time they ask, you give them advice, they don't take your advice. The second time they ask your advice, you give them advice, they don't take it. The third time you give them advice, they don't take it. The fourth time, maybe they take it. The fifth time, they don't take it, but they don't take it more often than they take it. At the end of the day, you feel like, why are you even asking me all these questions for advice when you will not take my advice? So again, it goes back to feeling unappreciated, undervalued, and just not just not really being there, just not really feeling that they're there and they're seen. So it's important that when I ask, oh, does Calvin consult his wife on things? He might consult her, but does he take her advice? That's also an important factor. Now, this point about hanging out with friends, YO made that very good point about the fact that there's so much that could be done or could have been done that maybe pushed her out rather to the wrong crowd. Maybe he's the kind of person that's just so busy and he doesn't really have time for her. And now because her own business is doing well, she can afford to go out on her own and splurge and just spend money on some things that she likes and meet new people. And now she's spending time with these people and it's affecting her marriage. What is your advice to Calvin? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, this is Razak on the line.
Hello, Razak.
Promoter.
Good to hear from you again. I'm fine, thank you very much.
It's Lagos, so man must chop.
Abio, my brother.
And concerning the case on that tonight, there's one thing I want us to understand, and that is in life, emotional intelligence is very, very key. Very, very important. Now, like this case we have now, there's nothing bad. I personally encourage my wife to password her, not just her phone, even the pin to the SIM card. We all know what happens all around. But the most important thing, something that we need to understand is this. You know, sometimes when I call, I said this thing called marriage requires some privacy. But the privacy is between the man and the woman because they make up the home. But do you know that if anything happens to a woman or the man, the first person the relative will ask for is the husband or the wife, is the spouse. If anything should happen to either of the two, the next person is the person that will start asking question from. Now, on that premise, no matter what, there's no reason for that woman to keep her password secretive. Now, what I want to say is this. There's nothing anybody can say tonight. We'll all be speaking from a narrow perspective because we don't really get the real background to the story.
Yes, of course.
Whether they have children, how they've been, all this, why we don't have.
Of course.
But to the best of the information that is available to us. Because this man is next to you. So there's no justification.
This man is what? Say that again, please.
I mean, there's no justification of this passwording of phone.
No, you said this man is something to you.
So I said the man and the woman. Because when you password your phone, it says something straight. You can password your phone and still let your husband know. That doesn't mean you don't have the privacy. Somebody called and said the password is actually for outsiders. When does your husband become somebody who cannot know anything about you? So I think it's a very dangerous sign. It's a very dangerous sign. It's not okay at all. Because when you have not been doing well, you didn't password, you didn't. That's not secret. Let me tell you what we have.
Okay, so let me quickly ask you, Razak. Will this matter if the husband's phone is passworded as well and she doesn't have access to it? Hello, can you hear me? Razak, can you hear me?
Not a good sign.
Razak, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I'm listening. I'm listening.
Okay, because the line was breaking earlier. Okay, so I was asking, if his phone is passworded and she doesn't have access to his phone, does it matter at all? Does it hold any kind of relevance in this story?
Whether the woman doesn't have access to the man's phone, very, very wrong. Very, very wrong.
So you're basically saying it should apply both ways.
I'm telling you, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You know why God gave Eve to Adam? This thing is very, very germane. Because that's the foundation of the marriage in the first place. Keeping secrets. Yes, going down on communication. It's been like in the beginning of the end. They don't take care.
Okay. Thank you very much, Razak. Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it. Thank you. You too. Okay, so Razak is saying that it doesn't make sense for her to password her phone and her husband will not have access to it. To which I asked, if his phone is passworded and she doesn't have access to it, does that matter in this entire situation? And he said, yes, it matters because they both should have access to each other's phones. Just to prove or just to show that there's nothing to hide. There's really nothing to hide. If there's nothing to hide, why can't I have access to your phone? And he's saying that If anything happens to the wife or the husband, whoever is with the phone will want to reach her husband or his wife if anything happens to him. And if the phone is passworded, nobody can reach it. And then that's also a challenge. So he mentioned those 2 points, and very good points, by the way. Thank you very much, Razak. So we can't really say there's so many loopholes in this story that cannot give us a wholesome perspective, but I will still appreciate our advice. Hello? Hello, good evening. Good evening.
This is Paul from Kitco.
Hello, Paul. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you. Concerning the matter on ground today, according to Mr. Kelvin, he has been there for his while. Living was once sending out to university, according to him, right? After getting married, he got her a car. Well, I'm a young guy though, but whoever that is giving an advice, like I love the way people are saying their mind. But we should whenever we are giving an advice, we should give an advice that will help the younger ones coming up too, so that when they got themselves involved in marriage, they will be able to understand and sort themselves out, even without involving anyone.
Okay.
My spouse is not here with me too. I would have given her a phone for her to even tell you. Like, we don't have any secrets between, like, I have password on my phone. That is probably because of the little ones around me. They do normally use it to be playing games all the time. That was my major reason why I passworded my phone. Not because of my wife or anybody. I know the password. She does as well. She knows my password. My wife, to the extent she can freely check some of my messages. I don't care. Like, I didn't feel bad about that. Likewise to me as well. I can even take her phone for more than 4 hours without returning it, while my own phone is with her.
Okay, Paul.
That is the level of trust we have for each other.
All right, noted. So how does this apply to Kelvin right now?
Mr. Kelvin, like, to me, there is something fishy about the wife. Like, I'm not judging her, but I have to say my mind.
Okay.
This the man in question here is your husband. And if the husband does something to her that okay, she's not feeling comfortable about, or the man is misbehaving or something, will have understood that okay, the man is treating her well the way he's supposed to have. Like,
we don't know that though. We don't know that.
Well, anyway,
this is a story submitted from Kelvin's perspective, so we really can't say about any of the details of how their marriage has been so far.
But my point is, the wife doesn't, to me, though, is her privacy, though, but at least not to the extent that she won't allow the husband to access her phone is wrong. There is something about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Paul. So, what do you think he should do? Is there anything that you advise him to do to bridge this gap that has developed?
Sure. To me, with the way he said it, I'm so much believe that there is no fear of God in his wife. Like,
I'm sorry?
have to tell you in my mind.
No,
like,
you can tell me your mind, but that particular statement sounded very judgmental.
I'm sorry. If I told, I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize. Okay. What I'm going to, my advice to him is, to make sure he sits his wife down, because when a woman is involved in so much making friends, you know the outcome of it already.
What does this mean?
For the sake of their children.
What does this mean when a woman is involved in making friends? What is the outcome? What is wrong with a woman having friends?
Sister Sonto, you should understand that better.
My dear, I don't understand.
Most women, they don't like advice. They give themselves a wrong advice.
Why would you say that?
I know what I'm talking about. We don't have to go long about that because others are waiting to go too.
Oh, of course. I'm going to wrap up with you very soon. But I'm just saying some of your generalizations are generalizations, which shouldn't be. If you've had a lot of experience with something, doesn't make it general. That's the point I'm trying to make here.
All right. This is why I'm telling you this. With the way, anyway, let's just cut it there. He
No
should sit
problem.
his wife down and ask her reason for this behavior towards everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you for calling. Okay, so Paul said a couple of things, but the most important things there were the fact that she should not be passwording her phone without her husband having access to it. Not because of anything, but because it's fishy and it breeds suspicion. And then it just says that they have no trust between them. So he's saying that the husband has been good to her, so he sees no reason why she's doing what she's doing. To which I said, we don't know if the husband has been good to her. All we know that he has been good to her, in quotes, is because he said he sponsored her through university and he got her a car after he got married. Let's bear in mind that that was 15 years ago. A lot can happen in a marriage in 15 years. A whole lot. So he's saying that she should sit her down and talk to her about it and try to get to the bottom of the matter. Please call back if you can. All right, quick messages. This one is from, okay, let me take this call. Hello, good evening. Hello. Hello, Benjamin. Thank you for calling. How are you? Okay, great.
I'm good. Well, from what I see of all the little information that Mr. Kevin gave us, from the information he gave us, it's most likely that he has treated the wife well, has been a good husband. From the information, because we can flip it to the other side, you understand? And we see that he maybe is not really doing the right thing. So, but the information he gave us is what I'm working on. So, he has been a good husband, treated the wife well, sent out to school, bought a car, wonderful man. Also, 100% pass mark. So, but for the wife to start absolutely have fool that the husband does not have access, that fool shows a red flag. There's some, when I say secret or some activities on her phone that she does not want her husband to know. Maybe secret admirer, maybe lady stalk, as we men usually talk within ourselves. Look at that lady, I love her, she's this, she's that, she has this, she has that. Maybe still have such discussion. Maybe doesn't want her husband to know this. Maybe husband, this woman don't spoil you. How can you be discussing this with your fellow ladies? This is what I suspect. But for her to,
Hello? Okay, he's saying she's probably keeping bad company and she is probably doing things that she shouldn't be doing on her phone. Maybe she's having stock, maybe she has bought stock somewhere that she doesn't want him to know about, or she has a secret admirer, or she's involved in some things that she doesn't think he'll approve of, and that's why she's passwording her phone. So yes, that is what Benjamin says. Let me take quick messages off of Facebook. Okay, so this one is coming from Benjaz. Benjaz, he said, Brother Kevin, wake up and see the handwriting on the wall. Why must your spouse password her phone? That shows there's something she doesn't want you to know, and she's indulging in some unholy activities. Sit her down, talk to her, get her reported to her father and mother and family members before your marriage crashes. Okay, so I'm coming back to this subject of family members. We always bring family members into relationships and marriage. I can even understand for relationships, but in marriage, why do we always think that the best means of doing things is to involve family members? We keep forgetting that family members are outsiders in a marriage. Why do we keep involving them? Shouldn't that be like the last resort? Like, I've tried everything, nothing is working. Now I think she needs somebody that she respects, somebody that trained her to speak to her. Why do we have to always involve parents and family members? We're not children. I mean, if you're married to somebody, the person is not a child. So why do we always have to involve older people? Why do we have to involve pastors? Why do we have to involve parents? Why do we always have to do that? Oluwagbemiga Joshua Babaolowedewu says, red flag signal shown. Please sit her down and discuss this with her. I won't be surprised if she's seeing another man. Make hay while the sun shines. Nicholas Isaac Soporici says, anybody can keep his phone passworded, sir. The problem is that you're becoming insecure, and that's not good. You should be glad as a man when your wife starts making more money. Just pray for the wisdom to manage her and the wealth. Stella Amateur says, good evening, presenter. Brother Calvin, your wife needs to be guided. Call her attention and talk to her one-on-one. Brother, save your marriage before it's too late. Ekigwe Bruno Steve says, pray to God to save your marriage and also report to your family and her family also. He also says she's cheating on you or emotionally cheating on you. Ehikamen Godwin says there's fire on the mountain. Oluwaseun Emmanuel says the moment your partner starts hiding his or her phone from you, definitely she's cheating. It's not until when you sleep with anyone. Dushima Pius says it depends on the privacy. Okpara Ifeanyi says problem don't start. We men. All right, thank you very much. Please keep your messages coming in on Facebook. Keep them also coming in on the WhatsApp family. Thank you very much. Okay. There's so much to talk about concerning this, but a lot of it is hinged upon the fact that we do not have complete information as regards why Calvin's wife is acting the way she's acting. If only we knew the why, it would really give us some insight into what's going on and how we can fix it, or at least how we can give advice and direct them in the right direction, you know? Comrade says, but he bought a car for her. We should not forget that. I'm telling our advisors. I asked the question, if anything happens to the wife, uncle, because it can never be overemphasized. Sumto, are you saying the lady is making a conglomerate and international business friends? Nah, something fishy. Okay, I'm not saying she's making a conglomerate or making international business friends. She could be doing that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying she's doing that. I'm not saying she's not doing that. What I'm saying is, Benjamin mentioned the fact that maybe she's doing, I think that was Paul. Maybe she's doing something that she shouldn't be doing. Maybe she has a secret admirer, or maybe she's involved in some other money-making ventures that she doesn't want him to know about. So yes, she could be making international friends and she doesn't want him to know, at least at this stage. It could be anything. Who knows? Maybe she could be planning a surprise party for him and doesn't want him to know about it yet because she's working on it. Maybe some of these friends that she's meeting are people that are supposed to help her plan the surprise. Everything doesn't have to connote negativity. Please, let's note that. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Please turn down the volume of your radio. Turn down the volume of your radio. Turn down the volume of your radio, please.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening.
Thank you. What's your name and where are you calling from? Good evening.
This is Captain Ola. I'm calling from Texas.
Hello, Captain Ola. Thank you for calling. Are you calling for the first time?
Yes, this is my first time calling in.
Thank you. All right. I appreciate you for calling. Thank you very much. All right, please, what's your advice to Calvin?
Okay, my view on this is that okay, you said something about her performing her phone and everything. She could put him on as an emergency contact, and then if an emergency happens, she will be contacted.
How does that work? How does the emergency contact work?
Okay, like there is a setting on your phone that you can set, and then you put some specific numbers there.
Okay.
And obviously, your husband or your wife should be on it.
Okay.
So that can happen. But then the part that still puzzles me is the fact that her husband doesn't know the password. I'm not saying it's not by force that the husband should know the password, or at least, has he tried asking for the password?
He didn't say.
He didn't say. That's another thing. Now there are some gray areas in this discussion.
Definitely.
Right now, there are a lot of gray areas. he might have done something wrong now and he's not saying it. There might have been an argument and he didn't say anything about it. You get what I mean? So we really need to talk to we need to have a conversation with the man and ask him that, was there a fallout between that 15 years that that made her change her attitude, or made her change, or even to ask even the woman that, is there something that he did? He might not have even known that, oh, he did something wrong. Is there something that he did that made her, that maybe insulted her or something like that? Or is he not providing enough? See, to buy a car for a woman, an easy thing, no like easy. But then, is there emotional attachment? Like, is there, like, he can just be providing for her in quotes financially, but then that emotional attention is not giving her.
Okay. Thank you very much, Captain Ola. Thank you for calling.
Yes. God bless you, my dear.
Okay. Captain Ola from Fastac is making the point about the fact that she having the password not necessarily is the challenge, but the fact that her husband doesn't have access to it might be a challenge. He also says a way around that would be to make him an emergency contact on her phone. Everybody has that, actually. I just asked that question, like, how do you get that done? So that people would know that, oh, this is something you can actually do. Your phone can be passworded, but you can have your spouse, your family, your close friends as emergency contacts on your phone. So if anything happens to you, you can reach those emergency contacts without even opening the password of the phone. So that's the thing that happens on almost every smartphone nowadays. He also said he doesn't like, it's puzzling to him that she didn't give her husband the password, or that her husband doesn't know the password. And I said, oh, he didn't say she doesn't know it, but he's definitely complaining about the fact that she has passworded her phone, which implies that it's private to her, meaning that he doesn't have the password. He's also saying it's possible that her husband may have provided physically for her, financially for her, but may not have provided emotionally for her. He may not have met her emotional needs over the course of the 15 years, and he may not have been there for her when she needed him, and he may have done something that he probably doesn't even know that he did that caused a fallout somewhere. Now, bear in mind that this fallout might not be like a full-blown argument or a fight or anything. It might just be something that she had intensified, that she had intensified in her mind over and over again, and just conditioned her mind to accept certain things. And after a while, when she realized that she couldn't take those anymore, she started revolting, doing these little things. So that's probably a factor. All these are just suppositions. All these are just assumptions. We really do not know what has gone on in the course of this 15-year marriage. And so we're just giving suppositions, and we're just giving advice based on the limited information that we have. All right. Now, the fact that I wanted to point out the fact that he provides for her, which is what Captain Ola basically just said. The fact that he provides for her financially is not everything. It's literally not everything. In fact, it's as important as it is. If you give, a lot of women think that, oh, when you have money, it solves a lot of your problems. But the truth of the matter is, that's why when people that have money say that money is not everything, when they say that, oh, money cannot buy you happiness, they're not saying it because, oh, they have money, and they're saying it because they've seen it happen. They've seen what money can do to people. I mean, with great, how do they say that thing again? With great success, comes great responsibility. And what that means is the more money you have, the more problems you have. And that is a given. That's a given. More money doesn't give you more peace. It gives you more problems. You just have more things to do, more work to get done. And at the end of the day, maybe there's no me and you time anymore. Maybe there's no time for the family. Maybe there's no time for your wife. Maybe you're just providing and you're not there emotionally. Now, this is a maybe. It could be that Kelvin is just an amazing husband, and his wife, pardon me, has just gotten to the point where she feels like she doesn't just want to be a wife anymore. She doesn't just want to be wife and mother to my children. She wants to be, she wants to be a woman. She wants to be recognized as a woman. She wants to be the kind of person that goes out, has a good time by herself without her husband. She wants to have a circle of friends. She wants to have people that she talks to. Now, the challenge here would be the quality of the friends that she's keeping. If the quality of these friends is such a bad idea, if she's keeping bad friends, basically, then it would affect negatively her marriage. Because what this means is if there's literally nothing going on and she's keeping bad friends, even to this tiniest thing that she says, oh, my husband went out this morning without telling me. If she's keeping bad friends, her friends will blow the situation up and they will make a mountain out of a molehill. And at the end of the day, they'll probably give her bad advice. And this is what I think this is what Razak or somebody else was trying to say, that women don't give very good advice to themselves. And the truth of the matter is, over time, this has happened, most definitely. But this cannot be a general situation. My friends are female and they don't give me bad advice. So I do not know what kind of friends other people are keeping. But yes, bad company does corrupt good manners. So if she's keeping bad friends, it will definitely affect her marriage. This is 26 minutes past the hour of 10 on Your Women Radio, WFM 91.7. Tonight, we're profiling Calvin's story, and Calvin is telling us different things about the situation on ground. He's telling us that he and his wife have been married for 15 years, that he sponsored her to university and got her a car when they got married. He said his wife's business has been going very well of late, and now she's bought herself another car. Now, he says the issue now is she does things without consulting her. She hangs out with friends, and she even passworded her phone saying that she wants privacy. So he's asking, is it proper to keep your password to yourself as a married woman? Now, this is the indication that he doesn't have access to her phone. This is the indication that he doesn't know the password to her phone. Now, again, the number to call is 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. You can send in a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. Now, as we're giving advice, please let's note that this is somebody's reality. So let's try to be not judgmental, non-judgmental, and just give good advice. This is coming in from Twingy, who says, good evening, Sumto, compliment of the season. To start with, there's something I want every married person to understand. There are certain things that you may not get to know about your spouse in marriage unless you're qualified to do so. And being married does not mean that you have lost your right to privacy as a human being. And this is one thing that needs to be embraced by everyone, especially married couples. But be that as it may, I will advise Calvin to keep being a good husband to his wife and also focus on his life and his business, on the growth of his life and his business. Besides, if there's anything that his wife wants him to change about himself or start doing for the family, well, this may be a good time for him to take the initiative. Lastly, he can have a heart-to-heart conversation with his wife and let her know about the changes he has noticed in her, especially regarding their relationship in the marriage lately. I wish you a happy married life henceforth, Kelvin. And that's from Tony. Thank you very much. Okay, please do well to call back. Yes. So talking about the subject at hand, this issue of privacy is something that occurs a lot in marriages. Do we think that couples have a right to privacy? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for calling. Please turn down the volume of your radio.
Yeah, this is Kevin from Ikorodu.
Tell me your name again.
Kevin.
Kevin Sin.
Let me see you know Kevin.
Kevin Sin. I want to say, you sure say no be you, be Kevin.
No, baby, now you know Kevin.
Kevin Sin from Ikorodu. Thank you very much for calling.
Go ahead. Please, what I'd like to contribute in this marriage issue of Kevin, yeah?
Yes.
It's just that any woman that's trying to be hiding something from relationship, from, after years of marriage, getting married, then start hiding something, privacy from his own husband, not even a boyfriend, that they are married, they have children together for long. So they have been together for after 15 years of marriage, I'll be something like that, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, you're right, 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah, so it shouldn't be something that they're supposed to be. There must be something wrong. If there should be something really happening, going on, which Kevin don't know, or the woman knows about, she should just open up to Kevin and talk to him and tell him, this is what you are doing that have been provoking me, that make me hide my face from you, and reveal it out and let them, if they have to apologize to each other, they apologize and settle themselves back again, you know?
Okay. Who do you think should initiate this conversation?
You said?
Who do you are you saying that Kelvin should talk to his wife, or you're saying that his wife should talk to him? Who do you think should start this conversation? That's what I'm asking.
It should be the wife now that is hiding from Kevin, that don't want him anymore, because it's Kevin that love her.
But if not the wife, they hide something. Why? How the wife where they hide something? I'll be saying that the wife where they have something. Now she will conquer the husband and say, you get the reason why they hide something. I just want to say the thing that they hide do. Now the reason why they hide with this.
No, sorry, but that's why I say that the woman should make the arrangement. If it's a day, they come together and talk about it and try to expose everything to themselves and settle it once and for all, to not to have a broken home, broken family. I don't know.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kevinson. Thank you for calling.
Okay, that's my own contribution, because it's not fair. It's not done. A woman that have been bound to husband, it's not the boyfriend. They should be exposed to each other. No need of hiding something from your own husband. It's not done.
Okay, should the husband hide something from her?
The husband?
Yes.
I don't think so. The way I heard it, that they have been together. They take out. She trained. Karen paid her school fees when she was 23. Then they have been together. They have 2 kids, I think.
No, we don't know if they have children. I think they have children, but they did not tell us how many children they have or if they have children. Kevin said the fact that he took her through university doesn't make him a good husband. You know.
You said?
The fact that he took her through university and got her a car after they got married does not make him a good husband. It just makes him a good provider. And that was a good provider as at 15 years ago. Now, I'm not saying that he has stopped providing, and I'm not saying that he's a bad husband. I'm just saying that the fact that he buys her things or got her a car or took her through university does not mean that he's such a great husband. It doesn't really mean the same thing. Now, if we're in agreement that it doesn't really mean the same thing, I'm now asking that if does she have access to his own phone too?
That's Kevin's phone.
Yes. I mean, shouldn't she have access to his phone?
Why can't she? She's free if she wants to.
If his phone is passworded and she wants access to his phone, and he's saying, he doesn't want to give her the password, should he be upset now that her phone is passworded and she's saying that she doesn't want to give him the password?
That shouldn't be. It's not compulsory. Aside, they're already together. You know what about the relationship? What I can contribute, I think, is that it's not about phone controlling or whatever. Aside, they are two already being together. They have placed their wedding. They are already together. They are using phone to play whatever they can play whatever. They play games on Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, whatever, and drop the phone down. It's not about control. You control phone. You see numbers. You cannot trace number. Say maybe I see a new number. My wife. I want to go and trace number and see the person. It doesn't make sense. You didn't call them red-handed, or you didn't see red-handed doing something with your wife or whatever. So, and the woman shouldn't even say, it's even my boyfriend, me now, I'm in a relationship. So, my woman also tell me the same thing. I cannot touch her phone sometimes, but I don't care. I'll say, okay, it's a wish. However you want it, you know.
Okay, thank you very much, Kevinson. Thank you for calling.
So, I'll say, sorry, I'm not finished. I'll say however you want it. If you want to touch my phone, hello?
Quickly, please round off.
Okay, sorry. If you want to touch you are free to touch my phone. I didn't stop you. I didn't deprive you. I didn't refrain you for touching my phone. So it's just opening up. So it's due to our own determination. If you want, you open. If you don't want, you don't open up
Okay,
your
thank you
phone.
very
But if there's
much.
problem between if there's problem between both of them, they should come together, fix a date, and meet up and say open up to each other and settle. If they have to apologize to each other, apologize to each other and bring that set back again the way they are.
Thank you.
So,
Okay, so Kevinson is basically harping on the point that if there's anything that's going on between both of them, he doesn't think that passwording or not passwording the phone is a solution. He doesn't think that this privacy that is needed is the solution. He doesn't think that the need for privacy or the lack of privacy is any issue here. He is basically saying that there must have been something that led her to this point. And then if there's anything like that that she needs to share with her husband, she needs to tell him. Whether or not she starts the conversation or he starts the conversation, she needs to tell him what's going on. She needs to open up to him. He needs to know that, oh, this is where he has erred in the past, and this is what is responsible for where they are now. So thank you, Kevinson. As I said earlier, there possibly is not any particular reason why she's doing this. There possibly is not any specific reason why she's doing this. She's probably just doing this because she is older now, has her own money now. You know, she can go out and do whatever it is she wants to do now without feeling a certain way, without being unnecessarily dependent on her husband. And maybe she's just, in quotes, living her best life. Now, as I said, if she is just living her best life, and this is in the case that her husband is a good husband, everything is fine, they have a good marriage, everything is good, then if she's just living her best life, what we need to be concerned about is the quality of friends that she's keeping, because they might be the one influencing her to do bad things or giving her bad advice. And this passwording of phone might be a direct or indirect effects or impact of this advice that they're giving her. So if they're advising her to do things that she would not ordinarily do, maybe stay out late at night, not go home early, talk back to her husband unnecessarily, initiate arguments, start keeping company with single guys or with other married men or with other men generally that she's not supposed to keep company with. If they're doing all these things, they're initiating her into things that she shouldn't be doing, and she wants to keep these things private from her husband, and she's now passwording her phone, then that would definitely be something to be worried about. So Kevin might need to know who these friends are. Do we think he needs to know who these friends are? Do we think he needs to be worried about these friends? So yes, that's one side of it. Now, this subject of whether or not she should password her phone, somebody said something in the comments, in the messages, that the fact that they password their phone doesn't mean that they hold anything against you, or doesn't mean that they have lost their right to privacy. Yes. This was Toyin's message. Said being married doesn't mean you've lost your right to privacy as a human being. And this is one thing that needs to be embraced by everyone, especially married couples. This subject of privacy, sometimes it's a do or die affair for people. It's a make or break challenge for people. You know, sometimes they want to know exactly what's going on in your life. And this usually stems from a lack of trust, to be honest. If we're being completely honest, if you're in a relationship with someone and you trust them completely, whether or not they password their phone, you don't really need to know what goes on in there. Yes, curiosity sometimes will make you be like, open your phone safe. Let's even see the people that follow you. Let's so this is what's happening in your DM. Or your DM is hot too. Who is this guy that is on your matter? And some of these, let me see what's going on in your phone. Let me see what's going on in your life. Some of these things might cause arguments. Some of these things might leak secrets that you probably are keeping private, or keeping secret. And some of these things, maybe it may not, because there may really be nothing to hide. It might just be, security purposes. Again, we do not know why she's passwording her phone, and we cannot just assume that she's doing it because she's doing bad things. Again, as I said, she could just be planning a surprise party for him. She could just be trying to do something nice. I know people would be laughing at me when I'm saying this now because they're like, nah, so I hear you, some to nah, so. But it's possible that that's what she's doing. It's very possible. So it doesn't always have to mean something negative all the time. It doesn't always have to mean something negative. Privacy in a marriage does not even necessarily have to do with password or no password. It can be the fact that you trust that when your husband goes out and comes back late, that he's not in another woman's arms. You trust that he's probably hanging out with his friends or his family or has a business meeting or he has to stay late at work. You trust that he's not doing anything he's not supposed to be doing. And this applies to the wives as well. Is if there's no trust, if there has been a break of trust, a breach of trust at a certain point in the course of these 15 years, that's why Kelvin will be worried about what's going on in his wife's phone now. That's why he'll be worried about the fact that she bought herself a car and now she's spending time with all these friends, doing things without consulting him and passwording her phone. 20 minutes to 11 on Your Women Radio, WFM 91.7. The conversation is still going on Adults Conversations on Your Women Radio, WFM 91.7. Here we discuss real life issues and matters relating to the heart. Tonight we're profiling Kelvin's story. Kelvin is telling us that his wife is secretive. He's 45, his wife is 38. They both own individual businesses and they've been married for 15 years. Kelvin told us that when his wife was younger, he sponsored her through university and he bought her a car when they got married. He's now saying that recently her business has been doing a lot better and she bought herself another car. And now she's hanging out with friends. She hangs out with friends without telling him. She does things without consulting him. And she has even passworded her phone and is saying that she needs privacy. So he's saying, is it proper for a married woman to password her phone? The number to call is 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. You can send in a text or a WhatsApp message on the number 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. Now, another thing I would like to know is if the fact that Kelvin's wife is making more money or making more money than she was making before, maybe not necessarily making more money than he, but making more money than she's been making before, if this fact is affecting anything in their marriage. Does this mean that, oh, okay, you said she's doing things without consulting you. What kind of things has she done without consulting you? And are they big things? Are they the things that are big? Did she make any big decisions, any major decisions without consulting you that makes you say, okay, I think this is a problem now? Has anything like that happened? Has her hanging out with friends affected your marriage in any way? Has it affected it in any negative way? And the fact that her phone is passworded, has it made you feel any type of way that has affected your relationship, your marriage? Because if her phone is private, if her phone is passworded, if she's hanging out with friends, but she's coming back early, she's still doing her duties in the family, she's still making you feel good as a man, you're still spending quality time together, you people still have things that you do in common that make you laugh, that make you have a good time with or without the children. She's still there for the children. She still does all the things that she has been doing. Why is this a problem? Why is this a problem? Is this a control thing? Okay, now you feel like you don't have enough control over her anymore because she now has her own car. She can go out anywhere and do whatever she wants. Or because she's now hanging out with these friends that you don't know. Is this a control thing? Or is this just you being worried? Is this you being worried about how all of these things that she's now doing is negatively affecting your marriage? Because if it's not affecting your marriage negatively in any way, then this would just be that, oh, you're feeling left out of something that is going on in her life and she's not carrying you along in. Again, we've been advised that we can talk to her about some of these things. Try to get her to see your point of view and make her open up to you. If there's something you stopped doing or something you're supposed to be doing that you're not doing that makes her feel a certain way, have you been emotionally available in times past? Or is this something that's just coming up because you feel like she has grown wings? Have you spoken to her about her behavior and what has her response been? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, and please turn down the volume of your radio.
Sorry, please, me, Kevin, again.
Okay, Kevin, very quickly, please. You've called before.
Oh, really, I'm really concerned about this, What I'm hearing is mostly my head. I can't stay without keeping my mouth shut.
Okay.
Yeah, because I really feel that the woman she's now okay with herself, with her business invested, and she's okay. She don't send the Kevin anymore. She can do what she likes. So it's better, Kevin. My advice to Kevin is that I should leave her alone and do what she likes. It's free word after all. So God will bring another person to fill the place where the missing space for Kevin. That's all I can say.
Kevinson, this is his wife we're talking about, though.
Yeah, this wife.
When you say she should wait now, when you say she should, and she didn't say that she'd not send him, because that's what she said. He didn't say that she did not send him. He's just saying that these are the things that she's doing, and he's just saying that, oh, these are the things that he's doing, and this is his issue. That's why I asked, is there anything, all these things that she's doing, is it negatively affecting your marriage? Is it that, oh, these new friends that she's hanging out with now, she's hanging out with them to the point that she's not even doing anything in the house anymore? She's not paying you attention. She's not even asking you how was your day. She's not coming to visit you at work like she used to. She's not taking care of the children. Is there anything that she used to do before that she's not doing again because she now started hanging out with these people? If there's nothing that if there's no negative impact of her doing things without his consultation, of her hanging out with new friends, of her passwording her phone, if there's no negative impact, why are we worried about it? So when you now say that he should leave her to do whatever she wants, God will provide somebody new.
Before I drop, it's just that what I have to say is that the woman, she's claiming big now because she's already okay. But
what makes you say she's claiming big? What makes you say that? She's claiming
big because she thought she can. She invested. She has a new car and she's okay with that. She can with whatever she wants. Let her go and do what she likes because she's a big girl. She was able to marry. Nobody was advising her before. Now people are advising her. She can do what she likes. But advice to Kevin is they should leave her alone and let her do what she likes. So if there will be another woman another woman will come to Kevin's way that will take care of the family and live a normal life again. That's all.
We are not advocates for breakup of marriages, Kevinson. We don't believe in that. So yes, I take exception to your advice. So thank you very much, Kevinson. But yes, particularly when you do not have any fact that makes you say that, it's worrisome when you say, oh, she's going big. I mean, is there a place that she was supposed to stay forever that she's breaking out from that is making you say she's growing big or she's growing wings? Because what she's growing wings means is she's supposed to be in a specific position. She's supposed to be in a specific space. And now she's stepping out of that space. So she's growing wings. We don't tell men that when a woman does everything that she can do for him, she has contributed a lot to his life. You know, she's there for him. She's doing everything that she can. Then the man blows and he starts doing anyhow. We don't say that he's growing wings. We just say that, oh, he is now more exposed, or he needs to see more things, or there are just ways we put it, but we never say that he's growing wings. We never make it look like he's not supposed to be in that space. We always acknowledge the fact that, oh, he's the man, and because he's the man, he's supposed to have money. So she contributed into the into the role that he's in now, into the space that he's in now, meaning that he now has money. So, this is where he's originally supposed to be. So thank you for the effort. But now that he's here, let him do as he pleases. That's the tone that we give when we talk about men having money. So why are we now saying now that a woman has money, she's growing big and she's growing wings? Please, we need to dead that idea. We need to kill it completely, because a woman having money is always a good thing. Always a good thing. It now depends on how you react to the fact that she's having money. So let's not make it look like it's a bad thing. Let's not make it look like it's a bad thing. And if it's a bad thing that she's having money, then that means that there's a problem with that marriage. That means that there's a point that something went wrong and it wasn't addressed. And that's why it's concerning now that she has money. I mean, is the woman supposed to be dependent on the man forever? Is that her? It's that mentality of dependency that a lot of the time you think your woman is supportive and you think she's submissive, when in reality it's not that she's submissive, it's just that she doesn't have options. It's just that she doesn't have options. Submissiveness is not really about, because she's always there asking your permission for everything, asking you to provide, asking you to give her things. That's not what submission entails. Submission is when you have the means to do other things. You have the means to look at your husband and say, you know what, I'm not staying in this house this weekend. I'm going on a trip, or I'm traveling and I'm carrying my children along with me. And you let him know that, I want to do this, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it without telling you. I can do it. I can comfortably do it, but I have to talk to you about it to seek your opinion. That's submissiveness. So when you think, your wife is submissive, it's not because she's silly, or it's not because she's just in that space. It's probably just because she doesn't have any options. So let's not connote the fact that, because a woman now has money, she's growing wings. No, everybody's meant to be successful, both man and woman. Let's just note that, please. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Please turn down the volume of your radio. Turn it down for me, please.
Hello, good evening, madam.
Good evening. Have you turned down the volume of your radio?
Yes, I have turned it down already. I hope it's not echoing there again.
No, not at all. Thank you very much for calling. So we're rounding up very soon. So I would really ask that you give me quick advice, please.
Yeah, this is Mr. Emmanuel. I'm calling from Moe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel.
Not much to say. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, when you begin to say if the men are behaving as such, nobody says they are growing wing or whatever, or so as such. I could agree with you, but I want you to note one fact.
Okay.
The name is of importance. Whatever the woman is doing, when she goes out, hang around with people, she's doing so with the husband's family name. Are you getting my point?
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yes, I understand. Please go
ahead.
Whatever
she does outside, whether good or bad, she's only using somebody else's name, not her own family name, whether good or bad. So that is where the man should be. It should be more concerned than the woman if the man is behaving as the woman is behaving, because the name is of importance. The Bible says a good name is better than riches. Since the woman is going out with the man's family name, not even the man's name or the man's family name, that point should be looked into. Otherwise, let her begin to bear her father's name to go about those movements, because the name is of importance. Just my view, apart from what you've been saying, because both of them are human beings, they are mature, okay, but she's going out with somebody else's name as Mrs. Mrs. Okoro, Mrs. John, Mrs. That. So the name she's using to go about those movements should be looked into. Just my point.
But technically, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing because
if the man is going out and the man will not go out with her family's name.
No, but he's going out with
the man's family's name.
Yes, but if the man is going out, technically, I'm saying it's the same thing, because if the man is going out and he's acting a certain way, I'm just saying this, if the roles were reversed, just hear me out. If he's going out and he's doing whatever it is that he's doing, now that he has money, he's using his own family name too now. So at the end of the day, whatever he does that is wrong, it still comes back to his family name. So if he's doing something wrong with his family name, and this good name is better than something should apply to him as well. So, I mean, I do not necessarily see I don't see how that name particularly plays any role in this, because if it were the man too, he's using his name too. So he's rubbing his name in the mud, just as she's rubbing his name in the mud. So if she's doing something wrong, that's what I'm trying to say. It's the same spectrum. There's nothing different there.
No, there's a difference. It is the man's family name that is at stake, not the woman's family name. It's a clear course. There's no way we can begin to paint this fact. The man's family name is at stake, whatever she's doing, not the woman's family name. This is a clear one.
I'm not saying the man's family name is not at stake if the woman is doing something wrong. I'm saying if the man as well is doing something wrong, it's his family name too that's at stake now, Abi. Will he be doing something wrong, but his family name will not be at stake because he's doing something wrong? It's the same thing.